Good morning. We are live on our pages this morning. How's everyone doing? Here in our wonderful week so far. Winning? Everybody winning?
Winning.
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 The only thing we could win is more opportunities, more creative. Yes, most definitely. More creative opportunities and the advancement of our worthy ideal. I'm going to get started. All month we're going over the intuition, and we use intuition all the time. Intuition is the feedback that we receive from our desire. Intuition is continually feeding us back information from our past memory, what we know, what we believe to be, and even what we may expect to see. So as you use or apply the intuition, what we're doing is we're getting emotionally involved with an idea. That idea is activating neural pathways. It's activating our ability to connect ourselves to an infinite intelligence, and we're receiving feedback from that desire. And the better we get at understanding the intuition and how to apply it, the better the results, the better I would say the magnification of the ideas that are coming to you will be. And the more the desire you have, the more impulse and directive the intuition, the feedback will be. I'm going to get started on a video. That we've been working on. We'll listen to the video and then we'll come back to the lesson.
I'm going to ask someone from the audience. Nino, you're a good friend. Come on up to the front here for a moment. All right, Nino.
Wonderful, Bob.
Give Nino a hand. If you're sitting in your office or sitting at home, I want you to meet one of the best managers I know.
Thank you.
And I mean that sincerely, and I'm not just saying that to flatter Nino. I'm saying that because of the results that I see as people get. Nino was kind enough to hire my son and daughter-in-law to go to work for them at the beginning of this year, and every month this year, they have earned somewhere between $20,000 and $45,000 a month. Now, you don't do that if you haven't got a real good manager drawing the best out of you. Management is the development of people. It's not the direction of things. So Nino's a very good friend of mine. Now, Nino, I want to ask you a couple of questions. I'm going to do something. What I'd like you to do is hold out your hand like this. All right? Now, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Now, I would like you to look at that. I want you to see what that is. I don't want anybody to say anything. I'm going to put it in Nino's hand. You just close your eyes, Nino. I'm going to put this in your hand, and I want you to feel it. Close your hand and feel it. Now, Nino, tell me what that is.
It feels like a piece of metal.
Well, move your fingers around it and tell me what kind of a metal. What would you use that for?
I would imagine to open the door.
To open the door. What do you call a piece of metal that opens the door?
A key.
This guy's a real ham, and he put him in front of a camera, and I'm telling you, he'll take it away. You guessed it right, Nino. You win one of our cassette tapes. That is a key. All right? Now, what happened there? Let's stop and think of what happened. Nino has sensory factors. He can hear, see, smell, taste, and touch. And when your sensory factor touch comes in contact with something, a light message is sent through a nerve passageway in your body. It strikes a group of cells in your brain. those brain cells are activated and the picture that's in the cells flash on the screen of the mind. So although Nino was not looking at this, which is a sensory factor, and it'll work that way too, he was touching the key, and that triggered the image on the screen of his mind. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show something to Nino, and I'm going to ask him what it is. Nino, I would like you to tell me what that is.
A pin.
A what?
Pin.
A pin. You think it is?
Yes.
You don't know what it is, do you? You're guessing now, aren't you? Now, you weren't guessing when you told me what that is.
No.
But when I asked you what this little metal object was, you're guessing. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, Nino, what you're really saying is, I had cells of recognition when I touched this, but when I look at this, I have no cells of recognition. Now, we're going to build cells of recognition in your brain. I'm going to tell you what this is, and I'm going to do something with it, and as I do that, instantly, in a millisecond, cells will be built in your brain. That, Nino, has a little plunger on it. Now, as I hit that plunger, something's going to come out of here. You see that? That is a toothpick, Nino. That's what your Aunt Marg gives you when you don't need anything, all right? Now, all right, now that is a toothpick. Now, that's no big deal, and you could miss the whole message here. But you see, Nino didn't know what that is. You know what he was saying? I don't have any cells of recognition in my brain. Now, when you go home, Nino, you can tell Rose that you built some brain cells this morning. She can love more of you. All right? You take more of her home. But that's exactly what that is. All right? And we just built some brain cells.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nino.
All right, this is a perfect illustration on intuition, feedback from what you know from your prior memory, and also what you think. Thinking means imagine. So for the first illustration, we're going through the key, but he asked Nino to close his eyes. So he's closing off the sensory activation. He's closing off his eyes, right? But he puts the key in his hand, and he asks him to feel it with the closed hand. So he didn't get more sensory activation until he started to move his fingers around it. He could feel it was metal. But then he started to move his fingers, he could feel the rigidness of the teeth of the key. And so he thought it was the key, and he was accurate. It was the key. And the reason he had that knowledge of the sensory, he could sense it with his finger with touch, is because he had cells of recognition inside of his memory. We have an archive. In that filing cabinet, we have an archive of what we hear, see, taste, touch, and smell. All of that information is connected to the senses, hear, see, taste, touch, smell. And it's stored away in your filing cabinet, which we call memory. And each memory that's connected with one of the senses is connected with an image. So here we have images that's connected to what we can hear, an image to what we can see, an image to what we can smell, an image to what we can taste, an image to what we can touch, an image to what we smell. So everything's connected to images. Now, there's no image, and we smell something, but there's no image. We don't know what that is. If there's an image and we see something and we've never seen it before, we will not know what that is. If there is an image, if there's an image and it has no smell, then we don't store that into our memory. We just store it with an image, but there's no smell. If there was an image and there was no taste to it, maybe we have an image with what we can feel, what we can touch. So everything is connected from the sensory factors, hear, see, taste, touch, smell, with images. Let's say it's something that there's no image, but we can smell it. Maybe it's unseen. Some of you may have experienced H2S gas, and it's a gas that you cannot see, but you can smell a certain smell when this gas is coming out of the ground. I know it and I understand it because I have businesses that operate in the oil and gas. See, so you see now every image or every idea you have is connected to images and senses. Nino's going through this metal. He understands it because he was able to go back to the feeling of a key without having the sight of a key. He had sensory locked up into his filing cabinet. And then when he came to the toothpick, which he didn't know was a toothpick at the time, he thought it might be a pin because he had maybe seen similar objects to that same size that could operate as a pin. So what did he do? He imagined, even though he saw it, he didn't know exactly what it is. He started to think. Thinking means imagining. And his intuition led him to his filing cabinet. And he was wrong. Now, why would intuition guide you in the wrong direction? Intuition is just directing you in feedback. We can enhance our higher intuition till we get the right idea. We can also use the intuition to get feedback from prior memory. So he's being intuitive. He was using the intuition for his filing cabinet. That's why he was wrong. Though he was getting closer to what it could have been. And as he would have thought more, and if Bob wouldn't have showed him immediately, maybe he would have started to imagine beyond. Maybe if he would have looked at it or known that there was no ink inside of it, saw that there was no ink inside of it, then he would have known that there's not a pin. That would have activated his mind to go beyond what he's seen and start picking up new ideas. Now we're getting a better understanding of intuition and also how we make new neural pathways. After it was shown, after he saw, he had collected the data from what he had experienced: hear, see, taste, touch, smell. And now he has the memory that he's put in his archive, subconscious mind, of a device used for toothpicks. Now that he has that memory, he has a new neural pathway. A new idea has been placed in his subconscious mind. So you see, we gather information from our environment, and we put that into our subconscious mind. We gather information from other people's environment, and we use those ideas to create a reality. But it's rarely that you find somebody picking up ideas and just act on them. They normally are doing the ideas, they're acting out the ideas from what they were raised around. Whatever was happening at that 0 to 5, 0 to 7, those ideas is what they normally practice. Through the development of our consciousness, of our awareness, we begin to make decisions on our own of what we would like to advance, to see, hear, taste, touch, smell. We use our imagination to go beyond, or we use our memory. And that's how we create our life. And what we experience outside of ourselves is to the benefit of what we believe is possible for us, what benefits us, what we care about, what we think is possible for us. What we experience in the future are the ideas that we think are possible. We do not experience anything we do not think is possible. If you do not think it's possible, you will find every reason why not to do the thing. Isn't that amazing? If you think something is unachievable, unapproachable, it won't work. anything that you have that you believe is truth, this is what you see. You see, the mind is something that you use, but that mind that you use is controlling your behavior. Where are you getting your feedback from? Other people's memories, other people's examples, your examples. Why is it some people go further? Their desire pushes them to go beyond what they know. Why is it that some people go further? Their desire pushes them to go beyond what they know and what they expect and what they do. This had to have been back in the 80s, I'm assuming. Here, Bob's talking about his son, I think his daughter-in-law, earning over $40,000 a month. Do you think it was an accident that they had lined themselves up to earn that amount of money? I believe his son was in his early 20s at that time. You think it was an accident that they just fell into that opportunity? Or was it something they were already desiring, something they thought was possible, that they aligned themselves up with this individual? There are no accidents. We align ourselves with what we believe is possible. We find the opportunities that we think are possible, and then we act on the opportunities that we think are possible and that we want to see. Now, you may be sitting here looking at this now or in the future and wondering, well, why am I earning what I'm earning? Because you've been acting on what you think is possible. Because you've been doing what you think is possible. And you experience only what you think is possible. Everything is energy, and we are aligning ourselves with the possibilities that are in alignment with the way we think. The truth is anything is possible. What's that value of $40,000, $50,000 a month now, currency-wise? Could be 80 grand a month, 70, 80 grand a month now. What is it that other people are doing that make them completely different from one to the next? Cells of recognition. Nino figured out the key because he had cells of recognition. The more cells of recognition that you have, the more understanding you have about a thing, the more you know it. And the more you know a thing, the more you can apply it. The better you know something, the more willingly you will be to experience it. There are no accidents. The more you will go and find the opportunity that you're looking for. So the more you can hear, see, taste, touch, and smell and experience and really get a better understanding, you can move it in action, you can do the thing. You're aligning yourself with that reality. Look at your past. Look at your past histories. There are things at some point that you did that you didn't know how to do. And for some strange reason, you directed your energy to move in that direction till you learned how to adapt to those actions, to receive that strategy, to experience that reality. Why is everything else so foreign and so far out of your reach? Because you simply just don't know. And there's a big difference between knowing and doing. If it's something you've never done, and if it's way out of your comfort zone, you're not going to want to do it. There are things that you got out of your comfort zone about because you thought it was possible. You see, you will not go and do what you don't think is possible for you. That's amazing. You will not go and do what you think is impossible for you. This is the average human being. Not because I can't, because there's a mindset in each and every one of us that causes us to stop and go beyond what we know and what we do. So it's about understanding the psychological principles behind belief and behavior, behind knowing and doing. If the experience is too far out of your grasp, you'll find every reason why not to go and do it. But there's another approach, and that's what we teach. We're teaching people that this is completely normal to not want to go and do what you don't know how to do. It is completely normal to read books and think you know. But what you didn't know is that you don't know. When you pick up a book, when you pick up ideas from other people, if it's something you've never done before, the chances are you won't go and do it. And this is completely normal. If it's something that you've never done before, and you don't know how to express that energy, you're gonna want to stop, or you will stop. And this is completely normal. It's normal for people to pick up books of knowledge and never experience what the knowledge is telling them to do. Because when you store information in the box, it's only for the memory of it, in which we have a large box of, huge box of only for the memory of it. It's not the experience of it. Right now, you guys got memory of somebody saying that they're earning $40,000 a year. Does it mean you're going to go and do it? Nope. Because you don't believe you can. If there's no sales recognition in that $40,000, $50,000 a month for you, you're not going to think it's possible for you to do it. And the chances are you probably will not even look for the opportunities that could give you that kind of money, that kind of revenue, that kind of money. You won't even look for it. Why? Because your mind quickly and automatically shuts off that idea, goes back to what it knows. It may even tell you, who do you think you are? And this is completely normal. How do I know this is happening? How do I know this is happening right between your ears right now? Because the average individual is not programmed to earn that amount of money. And that's not normal. Majority of people are taught that money is bad. Too much money is not good. To be satisfied with what you have, to be satisfied with where you are. This is what's running through your head. I don't need that. Who said I didn't need that? Who's talking inside of your head right now that's telling you all these things? It's amazing that I'm in your head right now. I don't know what's going on. How is it that I know this? Because this is what I study. We prepare this information on purpose. We teach people how to live the life they desire on purpose. And it's through the constant spaced repetition of new ideas. But it is your directive to take the actions. If you don't take the actions, you will never learn what we're teaching. The same thing as a book. You can read a book all day long and never do what the book says. You've got to take the ideas out of the book. You've got to process them through your brain. You've got to process them through your mouth. You've got to process them through the rest of the body, the hands, the feet, enough to make that body go and take the actions that you're suggesting to it, the suggestions that we're suggesting to you. And we know that the average individual will not do it. So it takes coaching, and it takes mentoring, and it takes teaching people to behave as they wouldn't behave. That's called education. We teach true education. It's rare you find anybody teaching anybody how to think. Where in education have you seen education teaching people how to think? You don't. They teach thinking through movements, through gestures, through writing, through storing memory of general knowledge, not even specialized. We teach thinking, and we teach the process of thinking, so you can understand what thinking truly means, what education truly means. We teach the process of education, of true education. Education thought learning things was being educated. It's not. You're not educated. If somebody stores a whole bunch of knowledge, you're not educated. Educated is when you can do. Education thought memory was being educated. No. You'll simply take a test and pass the test for memory, not education. The truth is, the majority of the people fail at education because they didn't finish moving and processing all the rest of that information to where they could experience what they were taught. That's why the truth is, if a teacher was truly educated in the area they're in, they could apply what they say. They could apply what they have memory of. And that's why the majority of the people that are educated, they can only apply memory. So they get paid for their memory, and that's why they're teachers. The truth is, if they could do what they say, the school would not be able to afford them or keep them where they're at, because they would earn so much more because they know how to do what they say, what they think. Now we're getting a better understanding of education and also of what we teach. You may need to rewind this several times to get a better understanding. Education is not teaching people things. Education is teaching people how to behave and act as they wouldn't before. And you do not go through that process until you step out of the education, and then you have to apply what you were learning, and you'll find out quickly that you are not educated. The first day you stepped into a position where you had to experience, you have to release that type of energy is the first day, the first lesson. And that's the first day you actually become educated. When you're actually learning to apply, to express what you've been learning all those years, that's the first day of education. Now you're getting a better understanding. Education is whenever you can express what you've been taught in action. Now everybody's going to figure out they're not educated. We're educated just to an extent. And the majority of our education that we have really good, we have a solid basis on that education. It's what was going on at our 0 to 5 around our family. We were well educated on how they talk, walk, and act, behave. Well educated there. How do we treat people? How do we treat ourselves? How we express our consciousness? How we earn money? When I say we, I'm not talking about you. At that moment, you were learning from them. The 0 to 5, you were learning everything that they were teaching you because they were teaching you experientially. You saw it in action. You can go and demonstrate that fairly easy. You may need to learn a couple of things that they done you didn't want to do. You didn't want to know how they do it. But you got a really good conditioning at a distance, or maybe you even done what they done. Because we are habitual by nature, and we are habitually doing things by nature of what we hear, see, taste, touch, and smell. We learn from them. You imagined a little bit beyond them. You began to imagine and you began to aspire, and maybe you change it up a little bit because you want to individualize yourself, but it doesn't mean you really won. You really did it the whole way. It doesn't mean you're living the way you want to live, the way you truly want to live. Why? Because every person gets to the point where they've gone as far as what they've been programmed to do. Not learn and not get the memory of it. I know a lot of people that continue on in that area, but they're still not living the way they want to live. Why? Because memory does not change the body. Knowing about it, having the memory of it is at a distance. You never get to experience it. Doing is what you experience right in front of you. I went to learn this information because I wanted to teach people how to live the way they want to live, not to live the way they do live. Something changed in me. And it was because of all the books that I was studying. This is all the research that I was doing. And I really wanted to help people accomplish what I was accomplishing, because I believe that they could do it too. And the fact is, I know they could do it. The majority of them didn't, because they were not willing to bet on themselves. And I know you're looking at this, and the truth is, you're going to question if you can do it. And this is completely normal. But I'm not looking for the people that simply say and do not do. I'm looking for the people that are actually ready, willing, and able to take on learning, open to learn and willing to learn a new way of thinking. This information is not for everyone. In fact, it's for very few people. But when you start to look around and you see how many people are really winning, I'll promise you, really look, you're not going to find very few. You're going to find out the majority of people are stuck, and that's normal. This information is for people that are not normal, that do not want to live normal lives, that do not want to be common anymore, because common is all around you. The statistics show that 95% stay stuck. 95% stay stuck. And the other 2% stretch a little bit further. What does this mean for you? It means you don't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. We either change and do who we want to be, or we live the way we are. Or we can try and try and try again and try again and continue trying again and try to work harder and see how far that gets us. I've done that too. If you really want to go, you really want the real information that's going to change you, change your life and the life of your family, we've got it. This is what we do. We teach people to go beyond what they know and do it successfully. If there's any questions on the Facebook page, let me know. Do we have any questions right now? Takeaways? I know we've got some guys in the Zoom, some people in the Zoom. Any takeaways? No takeaways?
I have a takeaway, Abraham.
In 5 miles,
Go ahead, Angelo.
About,
58 on the right.
yes,
4.
I have a takeaway. It's we all are programmed. We all, and this program sometimes we don't understand this name program because we know these words from others like culture, habits, but this is all program. So we all have program limited beliefs from our parents, our society. So we have to be aware of this and change it. And because sometimes we do a lot of things, but we always get stuck because we go to the boundaries of our program that is inside of us. So we have to be aware of this and stretch it to put something different, build other cells of recognitions, have another vision, have a vision where you want to go, the life that you want to experience. and go act. It's uncomfortable sometimes, yes, because you've never been there, but you have to go there. And the way you guys teach us is the way to set up our mindset to go there, to have the vision and the power to continue to program new ideas and actions to achieve our goals.
Very well said, and thank you for bringing that up, Angelo. You explained it very well. A lot of us don't know what a program is. It's your culture. It's the way they taught you. Those pictures is what you're using to create reality. We literally think in images. Literally. You're going to pick the images that are closest to your heart. They were groomed into you. Literally, we think in images. We think in pictures. You're going to pick the pictures that are in your program, in your culture, in your generation, in your family. You're going to pick those pictures to create your reality. And then you wonder why you're living the life that you're living, because you haven't gone beyond those pictures, because you're not going beyond their picture, their image making process, their process of thinking. What is required to think effectively, Angelo? What is
There's a lot
required to think effectively?
Things that is important to think effectively. You have to have the image where you want to go. You have to have the desire and know the belief that it's possible to achieve whatever you wanted. And you have to really think, because they never teach us that think is a skill. So you have to really think in what you want, have the image in what you want to go, and go act it out and believe and know that you're gonna manifest what you want. Sorry, I'm driving.
No, very good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for having faith and belief in yourself and speaking up. You're not letting the paradigm hold you back. You're not letting fear, doubt, and worry hold you back. We really need to get a better understanding of what the mind is, what the brain is, what programming is. And thank you for sharing that and willing to get out of your comfort zone and speak up, because that's how people learn.
Like Abraham, when I understand that everything that I'm experiencing in my life is true reflection of my thoughts, my acts, my program, when I start to understand this, now I understand I can change everything that I experience now in my life. If I keep learning this and act, I change it, and I change it me. I'm changing me every day, and I'm getting closer to of what I want every day, because I'm working every day on me to get better ideas, better beliefs, change my program, change the way I believe about money and everything, how to manifest things. So when you do this, you are working on you. You are getting better every day as a person, because when you set up goals, the thing is you grow. The thing that happens is you change you, because you have to become another thing to acquire you and have your goals. So that's the best thing is the changing that has to become on you.
Well done. Well said. Thank you for working on you and changing you. You're going to change a lot of people's lives just by telling your story. You already are. You're doing it right now. You've got to be willing to work on you. You've got to be willing to change yourself. Changing your mindset, changing your attitude, getting out of your comfort zone and doing the thing you don't want to do, speaking on camera, live streaming, doing the thing you don't know how to do. That is courage. That is faith. And by doing it, even right now as he speaks, he's changing his beliefs. He's building his self-confidence. He's changing himself. We really have to take a look at what is holding you back right now from becoming the person you want to be. We really need to take a self-analysis on what are the things that hold us back from becoming and living and dreaming and experiencing the life that we desire. Take a look at what we're doing. Subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to our programs. Bet on you. Change your mind, change your life. Nobody can change you. And you can only live with you. But we can teach you how. We can teach you how to live. This Wednesday, we have a Spanish seminar. Thursday, we have our English seminar. I'm inviting you guys. Send me a message. Send me a message. I want to look at your programs. I'm ready to change myself. Get involved with you so that you can change you. We have the Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill that we're teaching every month. You have the opportunity every month. You have the opportunity every day because we're teaching these classes every day at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Bet on you. Change you. Everybody have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good day, everyone.